They do. And this is the reason why, messengers have come
Of course.
throughout time. Because they plan for that.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? But that's all I'm saying we need to do. We need to plan for all of the things we know they know.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? It's like we never look at it whole picture style. It's always kind of like this, when it really should just be like, hold on, step back. Whole time they want you to hate it.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? It's like when Brother El Haj Malik El Shabazz, exactly.
That's
when
so
he was
crazy.
when he was on TV when John F. Kennedy got shot, and he was saying the chickens came home to roost, and he was calling them the devil. They loved him then. But when he came back from Mecca and he started talking peace and international relationships and things like that,
he's a threat.
He's a threat now. Yeah. So it's like and this is how social media is ran. They're fueled off of like negative comments, bro. Negativity in general. Like this negativity thrives in our media right now, bro.
Bro, that's so, I saw a post the other day. I should have sent it to you, where he was being interviewed talking about how they were coming for him, how the nation was coming for him. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I'm like, I mean, how unity is a threat to everybody?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Bro, that's how you know it's so powerful that they don't want it to come together.
But that's why I want to like when we say they, then we can't really say they.
Right.
Because there's us in there.
And I feel like they're part of the they. Because when I say they, I'm talking mentality. Right. I'm talking in the heart.
Right. Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? The us is here.
Right.
I'm past this, bro.
Right.
Because they'll send somebody like this.
Right.
And make you forget about this.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's like my people is in heart and mind.
Right.
And that don't got nothing to do with their skin color. Because we got people that's Europeans that come in, you feel me, chop it up and philosophize with us in the temple. That's the way it's supposed to be, bro.
Bro, we wouldn't be here if we didn't have folks on that side riding.
Exactly.
That's real talk.
That's real talk.
Yeah.
If it was just darker people versus lighter people, we'd have been free a long time ago. A long time ago.
Yeah.
Even you mentioned Haiti.
It wouldn't even happen.
It wouldn't even happen.
It wouldn't have popped up.
It wouldn't have popped off.
That was the thing. We cool. We just like, yeah, come through. But
exactly.
Hey,
but like look at like a place like Haiti, which is like the first free, melanated, you feel what I'm saying, post-colonial, you feel me, country.
Yeah.
And that started in the 1800s. So how did that go being so free in the 1800s, around like 18, 15, 20, stuff like that, to where it's at today? Well,
it's by design.
After they got their independence, there was the mulatto class, you feel what I'm saying, in Haiti, who wanted to still deal with the French.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Versus the ones who actually did the fighting.
Right.
Who didn't want to rock with them. You feel what I'm saying? And now they became in debt to the after effects of what caused the war, all the damage and things like that, which then caused them to concede. Like, this is what happened, bro. So it's just like,
I mean, there's another part to that though. The we can't forget the siege, the attrition. You know what I'm saying? It was like, they were ostracized from the global community, and you're an island, and you were treated as such. Like nothing coming in, nothing going out.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, once, what the French try to go in there, then the British try to go in there, the Americans try to go in there, and it's like, okay, we can't go in.
Right.
So we just gonna starve you out.
Right.
And that created that situation where they had to sue for peace and be like, all right, you got folks falling out or whatever. We isolated. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Cuba.
Yeah.
But not, to not that degree. But for Cuba, it's more overt.
Yeah.
For Haiti, it's like, oh yeah, nah, we trying to help them and this, that, and the third. And, but it's the agenda's been set.
Yeah.
They've been in timeout for 200 years.
Yeah. And that's the thing, bro. So it's just like, again, they were shut out, right? The trade trade is actually how they start. It's the Atlantic slave trade.
Mm.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So trade is how they were able to, you feel me, destabilize Africa in the first place.
Absolutely.
Is because traditionally there were desert routes inland for trade, but then they brought the trade to the coast.
Yep.
And it was cheaper at the coast. So
Of
that's
course.
like, if I can get a Mercedes Benz for 5 G's in Georgia versus 35 here in Colorado, where I'm gonna go?
Right.
I'm gonna go to Georgia.
You're gonna spend the $500 to get to Georgia and still be up.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, again, taking that situation to Haiti, when they were shut out, it's like, here's the thing about even how we're gonna move forward in the 21st century. Is that there could be a situation to where we build ourselves up and they might try to shut us out.
Right.
So why we have to learn to be self-independent, self-sufficient. Because there's countries who don't have a big role in international trade, who are still self-sufficient enough to provide for food, education, water, shelter.
With one caveat. I mean, yes, but not if you're intentionally ostracized by Western society. If you look at every country that's ostracized by Western society, they all experience a level of lack. Because then it's like, oh, they got to circumvent the system to get anything done. Nobody wants to associate with them because they don't want to be seen as co-signing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have countries that are, that aren't necessarily fully engaged in global trade, but the ones that are ostracized, the ones that are called out.
I'll give you a caveat to go against that caveat.
Yeah, please.
Russia.
Okay.
Iran.
Yeah.
Even the new Taliban in Afghanistan.
Right.
You have different countries. China to a certain extent. North Korea to a certain extent. Right?
I mean, North Korea fully.
So it's just like, and they're able to do that. Why? Because they're self-sufficient in a sense. They don't need the U.S. for blank, 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 blank. I don't care if you're putting a sanction on me because I don't need to trade with you for food or technology or education.
I mean, yes and no. I guess it depends on what the metric is. But I think that, if you look at Russia currently, they're subsisting. I wouldn't say they're thriving.
They got the third biggest economy in the world right now. Top 5, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that U.S. is 1, China is 2, Japan just got displaced as number 3 by
India, probably.
I think it's India.
Probably India.
Yeah. But the point is, it's like they're trying to ostracize China.
Right.
But when you've built it up to be what it is, they built that up to be their manufacturing hub.
Exactly.
And those folks was like, okay, cool, thank you.
You can't tell me China didn't know what they didn't know what they was doing.
Bro, it was game time. But 100%. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, but they've been rocking on that for what, 40 years now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
That's what
it takes. We got to put our head down for like 40 years.
I agree. But I think, we haven't had a chance to do that. We haven't had a break, because when you had, even looking at Jamaica, the Caribbean, Africa, when you had all of the wave of independence movements that, really came out of World War II, because the empire couldn't sustain itself anymore after it had, depleted the resources trying to fight they cousins or whatever else. You know what I'm saying? That was the window. That was the opportunity for folks to come out from under that yoke. And they was like, all right. But, as they're leaving, they're ripping up wires, they're destroying pipes, they tearing down out of spite, out of pettiness,
Exactly.
tearing down the infrastructure because it's like, well, you don't want us here, so we're going to tear all of this down. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because we petty like that.
Right.
And then when we had leaders that came in and said, okay, good, yes, fine, whatever, we're going to do it ourselves. We're going to start over. They made sure they got in there and they made sure that those folks, those ideas of self-sufficiency, of sustainability, of self-sustainability couldn't take root.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I really, outside of maybe, and I can't even say fully that, I don't really see an example of um uh an African descended nation of melanated people that are really doing it.
So you brought up a few points that I want to speak on because
Please.
it's just like I think that's everything you just said. The people that's leading these countries should know that they like to bring puppet leaders in. They like to mess with infrastructure. They like to pretty much tug at the things that's very integral to a society. That's not necessarily a main emphasis in war. In the sense of understanding, when we think of war, we think army on this side, army on that side, kill each other.
No, that hasn't been war for centuries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we know that,
yeah,
the leaders should know that.
right.
So it's like, with that being said, right, it goes back because China, like you said, they brought the manufacturing over there, and they were able to now take what they've gathered, what the United States was giving them, and then use it on their own. Because if we think about it, during the time of colonization, all of the countries who weren't necessarily like westernized, but were still good, they did that in some form of fashion to where like they kind of conceded to the US. All right, y'all on top, you feel what I'm saying? But we're going to pick up as much information as we can to make ourselves better in the future. And that's honestly the only way you can kind of survive that, when you know that these people have a superior technology, military-wise. It's like you have to get the information
right
in order to build up the nation.
Right.
So it's like, this is what we've been failing at, is that we've let our hate kind of blindside us. We just, versus like, no, let's step back. Let's step back and let's look at strategy. You feel what I'm saying? Like, even right now, right, we can't fight them military-wise, right? I wouldn't even say it's a lot of levels we can't fight them.
That's the fight that they would relish.
Exactly. It's a lot of ways we can't fight them. But the way we can win, it starts with the mind.
I agree.
It starts with our mind. It starts with our spirit. This is the part of the war where we should be training that every day.
Well, I mean, I think, to your point, yeah, these societies were put in a position to leverage an opportunity to elevate themselves. And I feel that, again, melanated societies have intentionally been left out of those opportunities because that's the outcome that is most feared. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no, people always, for example, they talk about Singapore, how that's such a shining example of a tiny city state that has been able to, pull themselves out and, from being in mud huts and this and that to being one of the most, advanced countries and, social wise, economically, but they were given the space to do that. Just the same way China was given the space, same way Japan was given the space. You know what I'm saying? There's not an example of a country with heavily melanated people that have been given that is an example of given the space to develop in that way. Because anytime they start to develop, I mean, I think, you know, like Gaddafi,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like he was doing it, like he was about to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, son.
Yeah. Well, in the modern day, though, you got examples like Ghana, Nigeria, right? Even to an extent, India. I would say India is a melanated country
I would say
that
so
has
too.
had the opportunity to build itself up. And don't get me wrong, we again, because I brought it up earlier, like we faced so much stuff that you feel me. It's happened so long that here now in 2024, we're still having these type of conversations.
Right.
So that's how you know the long lasting effects.
That's how we know we still
I'm
in the
not. I'm
Matrix.
definitely not refuting that.
Yeah.
But it's either we continue to talk about those things or we try to do something.
No, I don't disagree. I mean, I think I talk about it from a perspective of, how can we what can we gain, what can we learn from those situations so we can move forward in a productive, effective way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like to me, it's like, if you don't know your past, you're doomed to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
So, it behooves me, like when folks don't have an appreciation for the past, I feel like they're already doomed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, well, how you know that didn't work or did work before?
Exactly.
You know 100%. What I mean? And yeah, I mean, yes, I think India is an example of that, but I think India also is a very caste-heavy society.
Yeah.
And I think because it's because there's this subscription to this concept of hierarchy through hue, it's more comfortable to bring them to give them the space to develop. But when it's like everybody's just on the other side of that spectrum, there's really not a lot of opportunities. I mean, yeah, I appreciate Ghana and Nigeria, but even those societies, it's a very, especially Nigeria, it's a very uneasy balance. You know what I'm saying? In how that society is sustained and maintained its integrity, and if ever comes a point where everyone can't benefit from what's coming out the ground, I don't know how long it'll stay together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we, through you ever read or heard of Confessions of an Economic Hitman?
Yes, I have.
You read or heard?
Heard. I haven't read it, but okay. I've heard of the. I think he probably was on Joe Rogan or something like that.
Maybe. Yeah. I saw an interview with him once, but I read the book a long time ago, and it blew my mind because it was like it's all intentional.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This country is allowed to develop, but this country isn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's really about who's allowed to succeed and not succeed depends on who's going to play ball and not play ball. And at the end of the day, in my opinion, playing ball means making sure that the hegemony, that word, is maintained.
Yeah.
And what that looks like is a caste system.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, you're right. My thing is, you know how people say like, oh, we gotta be 2 times as great as them to get half of what they
That's
got.
not what I'm saying, though.
You feel me? Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but it's like I'm more of the mindset of let's just be 5 times better than everybody. They gonna stack all these odds against us. Stack some more. Right. Kobe Bryant, like you send a double team, you gotta send another person.
Right.
Like I got that mentality because I feel that like with technology today, right?
Yeah.
Everything's a level playing field. We could go to the United States, China, Russia. If we got a technology that can leverage the balance of power. You feel what I'm saying? Even if, let's just say, let's speak it all theoretical, the US don't want us to have this tech, but Russia's invested or China's invested or India's. Like, it literally like levels the balance of power right now because there's never been, I don't say it's never been a time, but the time that we living in right now, to the amount of people that got access to technology, if we don't get in this portal right now, we might as well start putting ourselves back in change, bro.
Bro, I mean, John Henrik Clarke talked about the recolonization, and it's happening. And it you know, that's what's so sad to me, bro, because I don't think most people see how that's such a possibility.
Yeah.
And I think that's the gap. I don't think like. But I think now more than ever, based on current events, people are seeing it's a possibility.
Yeah.
In the face of everything, yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Who gonna stop us?
Yeah. What are we gonna do to stop?
I mean, we only got this finger. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I appreciate the Kobe analogy, but that's the thing, that's the individual. If we can get a Kobe to come up and do all of that, but we already see how that works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think, you know, one can say, I'm glad you brought that up because it's like, yeah, he passed, but definitely no enemy to man. I would rather die doing what I believe in than live feeling constrained.
I mean, what I meant to say, and I guess I didn't articulate it fully, is that we've had our Kobe's from a leadership perspective.
Yeah.
And the challenge is, once those folks are identified, they're easily
taken out,
eliminated.
And
then we're back to right where we were. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that's the point of, like, we have to realize that everybody's a leader.
I agree.
That there is the one leader model is over with because we know how that goes.
Right.
So
they're looking for the Neo.
Exactly. But I think in order to end the Matrix, we all got to become Neo.
Facts.
That's the thing. We literally gonna have to raise a nation of avatars.
I agree.
A nation of messengers and prophets, so that it never dies. Because actually, even though they killed Malcolm, even though they killed Kobe, there's still people popping up like it anyway.
Of course.
So that's going to happen anyway.
Right.
So it's like, again, we looking at it we got to look at it from the whole picture. So it's like, if we know that once they kill off a leader, somebody's going to be inspired by this person anyway, and another leader is going to pop up.
Right.
Now it has to turn into an incubator. You feel what I'm saying? To where, like, we need to be breeding leaders like we breed athletes.
Oh, I agree. I think that I guess you know, I think I agree with that wholeheartedly, but I still think that the architect is waiting for that. Like, I feel like, you know, we need to breed leaders the same way we breed athletes. And I guess it's, you know, how.
I think that,
you know,
I think the how is, first understand that I don't necessarily think the architect is against us, in a sense.
Well, I mean, I don't know what architects you talking about. I'm doing a Matrix and reference.
Yeah, I know you're doing. I know you're doing a Matrix reference.
Okay,
but I'm
okay.
saying, like, you know, the people, right, who, you know, have been oppressing us, I don't necessarily think they're against us. I think that they actually love us.
I mean,
however, let me finish this thought.
Yeah.
Let me finish this thought, because how they were able to get the amount of power that they were able to do the things that they did, they did that using our education, using our own scientific prowess. And they were made custodians over this scientific prowess. And they know that they are holding on to our keys to the building. But the way that we've been coming at it, in a sense, because again, for the most part, how our people view ourselves, particularly here in America, that's been tailor-made for them to view themselves that way.
Absolutely.
But the way that they really view us, right?
Yeah.
With understanding more about our own history than we do, they know who we are.
Absolutely.
So when we truly come together and have that unity, no matter what they have at their disposal, they know they can't stop it, because there is a force more powerful than the power that they wield, that they know is behind us.
I don't disagree. I mean, I think, you know, the analogy that I'm always wanting to kind of share to illustrate, at least what I feel like you're describing is, you know, it's the elephant. You know what I'm saying? Like the baby elephant. And I feel like I'm trying to remember where I heard this analogy. I want to say it was like John Henrik Clarke, where he was saying, you know, the baby elephant, when he's a baby, they tie that baby elephant to a little stake, hammer it into the ground, and that baby elephant will fight and pull and try to pull that stake out. And after years of trying, will eventually say F it. And as this baby elephant becomes an adult elephant, this adult elephant, we revere their power, their intelligence, their creativity, but we loathe to have that elephant pull the stake out the ground, even though it has the power to now, because then it will roll up on your funeral like Shorty in Africa and stomp out that casket. You know what I'm saying? It to me, that's what it is. It's like, to your point, yeah, the same reverence and that one has for something so powerful is only in place because that powerful thing doesn't know how powerful it is.
Right. And with that, right, like you said, they loathe that. I feel that they're kind of split on it. I feel like there's a side that do loathe it. I feel like there's a side that want it to happen.
I mean, they want the elephant rampaging through the camp.
Indeed. But that's the thing, though. It's like, and that's the thing about kind of like waking people up, is that once they really find out the truth, they're going to be pissed.
Of course.
But over time, that's just your first initial reaction. Over time, when you get more information, you're now like, okay, I see why I was pissed. I see how they knew that I was going to be pissed when it was happening, when I first learned it. But now I am wiser. And that's the thing. It's like, they don't want us to get to that. And this is why a lot of people who become woke or conscious, they just stay. They never advance or elevate past the woke or consciousness stage, is because even that has been corrupt in a sense. The whole conscious movement has been corrupt because of, we don't know the actual steps to take, because we have assumed things like government, law, and like things for actual just structure and order, we've attributed to oppression.
What do you say that again? I'm sorry.
Order, governance, structure, things like taxes. I feel like we've attributed that to oppression. But if we were to actually, let's just say, right, every brother and sister in the country came together and we had this organization named the Moor Science Temple of America, right? Where we could actually know who's a part of our nation, have an ability to raise taxes, $5 a month, whatever, right? For actual initiatives that our people need, we would be more adept to deal with the things that's coming our way in the face of all of that. Because you got to look at it, 1920s, right? Jim Crowism was still going on, poll taxes, literacy tests, all of these things, right? But the temple was flourishing in Chicago. Had politicians representing our agenda on all three levels of government. Millionaire businesses, a manufacturing company, a newspaper company, right? Each temple had at least a laundromat and a grocery store. At least. Each temple, at least that. Like, that was the bare minimum to have a grocery and a laundromat.
Right.
So it's like, you could even look at Tulsa. So it's like, we have examples in just American history on what to do. Even if you look at it, how did it fall? You feel like we can look at how it fell and we can look at what actually worked. Like, we have to look at the whole picture because it's math, bro. If I can equate for this variable and this variable, here's my solution now.
So I agree. I 100%. I think what I also understand within that equation is, and I keep coming back to this movie.
Indeed.
Because it was so profound to me, bro. Like, it's funny to me, people that watch certain movies like The Matrix and things like that, and they're like, I don't get it. I'm like, bruh. I'm like, what? Yeah. Tell me you don't think by without saying you don't think. You know what I mean?
No, but facts.
It's like, how do we account for the dude that he's like, yo, I know this steak ain't real. I know none of this is real. But I'd rather deal with this fake than struggle with the real.
For those people, bro, we literally, if they're not thinking for themselves, we got to think for them. That's like somebody who don't love themselves.
Well, how do we know who they are until they identify themselves? And in a situation, like if we go back to the flick, they didn't know he was like that until he was setting them up.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. This keeps happening in the story.
Yeah.
Jesus and Judas.
Yeah.
You feel like this keeps so it's like, if we know this is going to happen, and then we get upset that it happens, who's at fault?
Right.
So it's like the system that the structure that we have to build has to build with that in mind. Everything you brought up of like, all right, well, what if this happens? Well, what if this happens? The system needs to be built with. That's how engineers actually work. They actually reverse engineering with what can go wrong.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, what can actually go wrong? And if we build it on what can actually go wrong versus what can we do right, it'll be impenetrable.
I mean, I think I appreciate that, but I don't think anything is impenetrable, personally. I think nothing is 100% infallible. You know what I'm saying?
You feel me?
Right.
So, not to cut your wisdom, it's a thought, bro. Thought is the cause of all things.
Right.
Everything started from a thought.
An idea.
An idea. And your idea is your God. Whatever ideas and concepts you have about life, you worship that.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, and with that, right, with what you consciously think about, the speed of vibration of bringing it into manifest is a given. So, right, if we understand that, if my thought, and this is the reason why they took the fear out of God in us, is because you can't enslave a God-fearing man. You can't put down a God-fearing man, because I know that if I fight in the way of God, I got a reward coming. No matter what. If I stand for truth, no matter what, all is well. You can threaten this body. Matter of fact, I'm so with Jesus that I might come back. You see what I'm saying? What if we put our thoughts to that?
Right.
Because what he did was prove that Rome was liars. You feel what I'm saying? When he resurrected from the dead, he proved that Rome was a liar, bro. That they can suppress us forever. No. You trying to really kill the sons of God, we'll come back. And you have to deal with us again and again and again and again. So this is the battle between good and evil is going to always be eternal. Because even think about the vegan community, right? That's something that's supposed to be good, right? Eating healthy, not harming animals. But if somebody do something that's out of the norm, you feel so like that's evil within some good stuff.
Right.
So it's like it's a thought, bro. That energy, it's like cleaning your house. You feel what I'm saying? You could keep your house clean every day.
Yeah.
But the potential for it to get dirty will always be there. So you have to have the strength to be a warrior to clean every day.
The vigilance.
You feel what I'm saying? Because even though it's not there, it could be there.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Nah,
so it's like the thought, bro. It all goes back to the thought and the mentality. You can't, and this is why I am the way I am, bro, because it's like, you know what? Every question that you ask and throw my way is like, bro, I obsess about this, bro, because we have to be able to answer these questions.
Right.
The new leaders of the 21st century gotta be prepared for that, bro.
Right.
Because this is the history. So if you ignore that, you're gonna be doomed to fall on that same sword.
Right.
So it's like, now that our thought is going towards that, we will be free.
Oh yeah.
Ain't no, bro, I don't care how bad it looks. I don't care how much you got. We will be free because you can't stop God's people. Like you said earlier, look at all the stuff we went through and we still here.
Yeah.
That should be our biggest.
I concur.
You feel me? That should be our biggest pat on the back. So it's like, if we understand that, why we take it to the next level?
Right. No, I agree, bro. I mean, you know, I've always, you know, and I feel like this is part of our affliction is the lack of connection to the past.
Yeah.
There's a gap.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, I've always believed that we stand on the shoulders of giants, whether those giants were kings and queens or if they were shepherds and you know, artisans. Like, everybody played their part. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone that came before me had to come before me for me to be here today.
Yes, sir.
Like, you know, from the oppressed to the oppressor. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm lighting up where you already know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's in there. You know what I mean? Like, but it's because I know history, because I understand this this road that we've been on. And as I learn more, because there's so much, I don't think we'll ever know the whole story. You know what I'm saying? I think as things, because, you know, things are constantly being discovered and things are constantly being hidden. You know what I'm saying? And things are constantly being revealed. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we'll never know the full, but to your point, and I agree with you 100%, we know enough to know what not to do.
Yeah, and I think you said a point that I want to speak on. You know, people, the king and queen talk has been misleading when it comes to our past.
Facts.
Because you can have a king and queen and they have a doodle village. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's
I love that.
It's the artisans.
Yes.
It's the artisans. It's the scientists.
Yeah.
It's the doctors in the court.
Right.
That makes the civilization. And that's the part that our people aren't getting, is that You can have a
wants to be a CEO.
Exactly.
But don't nobody want to be the COO. Don't nobody want to be the CFO.
Exactly.
Don't nobody want to be the CTO.
That's what makes a civilization powerful is what's the education like? How are the women being treated?
Right.
What medicine do they have?
Right.
How does it smell? How clean is it?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like what are they teaching? What are they selling?
It's like I didn't really want to mention it. I don't know why I didn't want to talk about it because I feel like I don't know. But like when people talk about the continent, they always talk about Rwanda and how Rwanda exemplifies all of that. But I feel like Rwanda's been given the space to do that.
Yeah. I think in a sense though, bro, in a sense.
But also look at what Rwanda is doing in the Congo.
I feel like we've been given space here. However, there's a lot of distractions that gets people caught up into not getting, you feel me? Because it's like, we know they're preparing kids to go to prison by 3rd grade.
Of course.
We know that.
Yeah.
But what role do the parents play in that?
I mean, I think that's a part of the equation. I think that, it's a long game. I think that I think like you were talking about before, bro, during that period of time when communities of color flourished, due to their being insulated and isolated, I think there was I think that was part of the conscious effort to bring those communities into the larger group in order to destabilize those communities and to minimize their effectiveness for nurturing those individual leaders. You know what I'm saying? That we're talking about. But I think that plan has been going on for a while. It's just like how they talk about, how part of the plan was like, look, if we don't have universal health care, that means, folks of color typically have worse health outcomes. Eventually, they just all going to die out. That was a thought. Like that was we thinking long. And we just going to weigh them out. And I think that idea of, we're going to just do things to get the ball rolling and just let it snowball to the point where it works itself out.
You know what that's called? Chess.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's been an issue. We've had the wrong people at the top moving the pieces for us.
But that's the thing. We already know we've been shown that we can't have people at the top moving pieces for us. Because the people at the top that move pieces for us, if they move the pieces in a way that is effective and productive, those people are eliminated. Or if they have people at the top moving pieces for us, those people have been put there to move pieces for us in the wrong direction.
Exactly. That's why I go back to everybody being a leader, because if everybody's a leader, then they know who should actually be the representative leader. Because everybody don't got time to be the leader.
No.
You feel what I'm saying? But if they're able to discern, I'm like, bro, and this is why we have to start doing, like, bro, you're actually a good leader. Maybe you should run for councilman.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, we have to start like pointing out the good leaders in our community. Like, bro, you've been working at this nonprofit for X amount of years. You've always done right by the people. I feel like we should all come together and support your campaign to do this. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that has to be the new wave, because that's the only way that doesn't get. We don't deal with what we've been dealing with before. Where they have a leader and they put him in front of us, or they have a leader and he take us out, and then we got to start over again.
Right.
Like, everybody has to be a leader, and it doesn't mean that you are at Capitol Hill every week. You could be having your own clothes shop and be a leader. You could be a nurse, a nighttime nurse, and still be a leader and know, okay, this is the type of person that I want to lead me. how often do we think about what actual leader would I actually like to lead me? You feel what I'm saying?
I mean,
what are his qualities?
it's funny because it's I'm having like recurring conversations because I mentioned this in the last one, talking to Los. Like, I want reluctant leaders. I don't. I believe that if somebody wants to be president or mayor or wants to be the leader, I don't think that should be the leader.
Right.
I don't think anyone that wants to be the leader should be the leader. I don't trust those people because what makes you feel like you should lead? That's narcissism, in my opinion. Just because you feel like you're the strongest, you're the smartest, I don't believe anybody was born to lead. You feel me? I feel like if the people that want to lead, they suspect to me because anyone that craves power is suspect to me. And to want to lead is to crave power for whatever the intention might be. It might be a completely honest intention, but I think having that notion that somehow I am the one to lead, that doesn't sit well to me. I want a leader that's like, nah, man, like you said, we identify those people in the community and say, man, that's a good dude. That'd be a good leader. Even if they're not trying to lead, the fact that those qualities exist, and especially because they're not trying to lead, that's who I want to lead. Because they're not there for the power.
100%. So what you just said needs to be put more out there.
I mean,
you feel what I'm saying? As in, like,
that's what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah, exactly.
Facts. Quiet as kept.
Facts, because we have to be able to point those type of people out.
Right.
Because again, if we don't, then they're gonna put somebody there for us.
Well, I mean, if they don't, then we end up with the narcissistic same mentality of this desire to control. Like, I just don't, I don't trust anybody that wants to be in charge. I really don't. Because if your desire is to be in charge, what does that say? Why do you feel like you're the one to be in charge? Like, do you feel like you're better than everybody else? You have the vision, you can lead, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't trust those people, bro. I really don't. Because every example I've seen of it, with few exceptions, once they get there, it's a different story.
Yeah, that's kind of how I started off. Honestly, like, I didn't want to start a mission out here and things like that, but it's just like I seen the necessity for it.
Right.
I seen that nobody was doing it the right way.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I feel like I'm being called to do this. Let me do it.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Because it's just like, think about it, right? Growing up, how many people desires to be a leader versus desire to be rich?
I mean, I think the terminology that we aspire to is this concept of leadership. Like I said, boss, CEO,
right?
Like this concept of I'm guilty of it too, because I don't know if I could hand the reins of what I'm doing over to anybody else. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't see this as the same as a desire to lead a community or a people. It, to me, is the reason I couldn't hand over the reins of what I'm doing here is because this is a singular vision of what I want to see. So I'm a complete dictator in here.
Right. But to push back on that though,
Yeah.
what if your customers is like, hey, we would want to see something like this? Would you not do that?
It depends.
Exactly.
It depends. I'm not. I love being wrong. I love being wrong. I know folks be like, most people I know hate being. They love being right. I love being wrong because if I'm wrong, if I have learned that I am wrong, that means I've grown.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in the same place that I was before.
Yeah.
So I'm not afraid of being wrong.
Yeah.
But it's got to make sense to me. So yeah, if they're like, because trust me, 8 million people tell me what they want to see, but the problem is they don't know the vision.
Right.
They don't know where I want to be.
Right.
So their perception of what they want to see is great, and it might be the dopest thing. However, does that move me closer to where I want to be?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And as a society, this doesn't apply. And that's what I'm saying. Like in here, I'm a dictator. Like, but in society, I don't believe in dictatorships. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe, I the back of your shirt, we'll go far together.
Mm-hmm.
We can go fast alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if it's sustainable if we go there fast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But coming back to the subject of leadership, I personally believe and I definitely not speaking on you, but just people that put themselves on a track of power, I'm suspect. I don't care how good your intentions are. If you crave power, you're corruptible.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that puts a lot of things in perspective because it's just, you ever watch the show Vikings?
I've seen a few episodes. I haven't watched the whole thing.
One of my favorite quotes in Vikings comes from Ragnar.
Yeah.
And he's telling his son, power is only given to those who are prepared to lower themselves to pick it up.
Facts, bro. But what does that mean? I understand what it means, but like I think that means different things in different places. Now, what are you willing to lower yourself to degrade your morals to pick up power?
See, I don't think.
I'm not saying that's what they meant.
Yeah.
But that's a part of it.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah. I think that, the best, they call it a servant leader. The glory of a king is the welfare of his people.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? If the people is doing what, like what's more impressive, a city with one big palace or a city with damn near everybody living in the palace?
Bro.
You feel what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
Like, and that's kind of like the mentality that I have.
Likewise.
In the sense of understanding that, like, bro, everybody is the main character in their own life. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, with understanding that, here's how we can actually interwoven a movement where everybody feels value. Because I'm knowing how people are coming and understanding that, bro, you are the main person in your life, whether you have a family, an immediate family, husband, wife, kid, or you just got, you feel me, brothers, sisters, best friends, whatever.
Right.
And whatever you do for a career and things like that, you are the center of your world, no matter how selfless you are. Because even if you're a selfless person, your whole goal is to how can I give to others?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's in relation to other people.
Right.
So it's like, with understanding that, we're able to craft around that. It's like, going back to what I said earlier, we can't do the math without looking at all of the variables.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But in the immortal words of his most excellent Remy, you know what I'm saying? You got the known knowns, the known unknowns, and the unknown unknowns. And those are the variables that you can't really account for.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? You could try to imagine the unknown unknowns. You know what I'm saying? But that's what's always going to keep you on your toes.
But we know it's unknown unknowns.
I mean, we know they're unknown unknowns, but we don't know what they are.
We don't know exactly what they are.
Right.
But we know there's an unknown unknown that's going to happen at some point, which we only get through experience.
I mean, we won't know until it happens.
Right, until we experience it.
Right.
So we only get to know the unknown unknown through experience. So we understand that it is the experience that separates known knowns, known unknowns, and unknown unknowns.
Right.
So it's like, that's your variable.
Right.
Still. Because it's like, we know that. We know we can't know exactly everything.
Can't anticipate everything.
Exactly.
Right.
But we can anticipate that we can't anticipate everything.
Facts. We could plan for you know, it's so funny. Like I always reference that thought, and I like the source is just so ugh, but it's 100.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you can only plan for what you can plan for.
Facts.
And what you can't plan for, you try to prepare for.
And that's the thing about, being spiritual or having faith is that like, it's even if blank blank happens, I'm still doing what I'm doing.
Oh, facts.
That's your determination. That's your will. I feel like luck happens to those that prepare.
I agree. Luck favors the prepared.
Luck favors the prepared.
Yeah.
So it's just like, even if the unknown happens, we're still on this.
I mean, because for us to be staying here, we got to be lucky.
Exactly.
All of the stars had to align. This X chromosome had to combine with that Y chromosome and whatever else. It's CeeLo.
Exactly. Courage is not the lack of fear.
Yeah.
It's being able to face it.
Facts.
You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We gotta have courage.
What's that other movie? Russell Crowe. I can't remember the movie. But he was like the coward and the hero feels the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what they do with it.
100%, bro. It's not about possessing good things. It's how you employ it.
Facts.
That's it.
Right. Because you could have all the good things and not utilize them in a way that's effective.
And who's better at turning nothing into something?
Shit, Negroes at the bottom.
So it's like, I feel like we focus too much on the bad. It's like, bro, we got a squad.
Oh, I agree.
We got a squad.
I mean, and hopefully that's not how it's coming across.
No.
But I agree. There's an intense focus on the negative, but I think it's because so many folks, especially now, I don't know. I feel, and maybe, it's my age showing, but I feel like there's so many people are just so cavalier and not necessarily thoughtful in the way they, move forward and engage. I don't know, man. And I'm gonna get like I feel like this. Whenever I engage with folks that are a couple generations or whatever they call that age group, like X and Z and millennials, like the alphas or whatever else, like I feel like there's this just like even the way cats communicate, it feels so cavalier and so like unsubstantive.
Because that's what's been breeded into the media, bro. Even on Disney Channel, kids going against their parents and like that mentality has been breeded. They've breeded the younger generations to be rebellious on purpose.
I mean, it's not even rebellious, yo. It's this, and maybe I'm interpreting it wrong, because I want to be wrong, to be honest. But it's this feeling of like nothing matters.
Yeah.
Not even myself.
Yeah.
100%. And I guess it's nihilism on a certain level, but it just kind of takes us further away from where we need to be.
Yeah. 100%.
And it's like, how do we right the ship? I feel like there's so many young people that are so powerful and so incredible, but when we talk, there's a level of thoughtful engagement. You feel me? That I and which is why I love talking to you. That I don't really get with a lot of young people. It's almost like I could see the thoughts, but they never really present themselves.
Yeah. And that's the thing, bro. It's like, our goal is just to deliver the message.
Right.
You can't make a horse drink.
Right.
Because they can never deny that nobody told them this.
Right.
Your job is done. Just
Right.
deliver the message. Because they can say, once they hit a message and they still do what they do,
Yeah.
that's what they have free will.
Right.
But just deliver the message. That's our job. We can't make them apprehend it. We can only tell them, you got mail.
Took it back. What? You've got mail.
I think we can wrap it up on that one, bro.
Bro, I appreciate you, fam.
Oh, man, bro. I appreciate you, bro, because it's just like, I truly believe, again, like I said earlier, bro, you are doing exactly what needs to be done for upward mobility, upward progress, bro.
Thanks, bro.
And I feel that if we all just in our craft, take the thoughts, take the knowledge, take the feelings, and put it in your craft, and the world will be a better place.
I agree with that, bro. And I think that is a good place to park it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Stay blessed, brother. Stay beautiful, man.
Yes, sir. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I just want you to know. You feel me?
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, bro.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
I mean, we're all so beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And we just don't we don't see ourselves that way.
Yeah.
And I wish we did.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish we did too, bro.
And I think at least I'm trying to chip away at it in my little way here, you know what I'm saying? Trying to create that conversation around how we view ourselves, because I feel like, you know, just like knowing who we are, that's a part of it.
Yeah. It's everything. It's like, how do you know what you're gonna grow into if you don't know the seed?
Right. Right. Man. We trying to rap, y'all, but this is how we do. It's a
Yeah.
And again, bro, that's why I appreciate you. It's a constant stream of thought, and you know, it's so rare to have the opportunity to converse with someone that is open and honest in their communication. It's so rare, and I relish it. I really do. I'm grateful for it. So, you know, we gonna have to do this again and again and again.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get around to it, bro.
Absolutely.
Because this is like we just cracked. We just cracked the surface, bro, because it's so we could have a whole day podcast, bro.
Word.
Because it's so much to talk about and not enough time.
And it's so much to talk about, and it's worth talking about, and it's worth allowing other people to hear the conversation.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it'll create more conversation.
That's it.
And hopefully through those conversations, we can create change.
The micro and the macro. This is why little things always turn into big things.
Right.
And big things stem from little things.
That butterfly effect.
That's it, bro. Like we if we just law governs all events.
Right.
That like it's we don't have to reinvent the wheel, bro.
Nah, man.
Nothing is out of reach. Nothing is out of reach when you know who you are.
That's 100. I'm gonna park it. I'm gonna park it there. I'm gonna because I know you're hungry too. Ramadan.
Oh man, brother, man. You see my mouth. I'm gonna start drooling out this blood. Listen, bro. But you helped me through these last 2 hours.
Good.
I appreciate it.
I kept you entertained.
That's the whole thing, bro. I try to really like read, stretch, meditate, do some work, like distract myself, bro. And I get so much done fasting, bro.
Enlighten me. How long is typically Ramadan?
30 days.
Okay.
And depending on the time of the year is how long you fast. Like right now, the sun sets at like 7:04 and it rises around like 7:15.
In summertime, it's rough.
Summertime is rough. In wintertime, it's love.
Right,
you can then sleep the whole day. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, bro,
the idea is you can't really consume anything while the sun is up.
Yes.
Okay.
And because of like if you're able to resist the things you know you need,
Yeah.
what's your power to be able to resist the things you don't need?
Facts, bro. Nah, I've never done. I mean, the longest fast I've done is 10 days, but it was like legit 24 hours no food for 10 days. You know what I'm saying?
And did you drink water or?
Yeah, that was the only thing. I mean, I would allow myself to drink water and like tea as long as it wasn't caffeinated and stuff like that. But for me, it was eye opening.
Yeah.
From a personal perspective because it showed me, honestly, that I'm addicted to food.
Yeah.
I already knew it, but it really showed me, people say, oh, that's stupid. You got to eat. Yeah, but there's a difference between, as a man said back home, you can't eat to live or you can't live to eat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think because food is a distraction.
Yeah.
Sometimes you live to eat instead of eating to live.
Yeah. Big facts, bro. No, I think they call it gluttony. I think that's the word.
Yeah. I think it called long belly in my situation. The man belly long.
Yes, sir. Oh man. Nah, yeah, bro. This was. Hold on. I'm gonna have to cop something off you before I get up.
Stop it, man. I ain't want to miss them nuggets. Yeah, I grabbed the mic. Because I want you to walk out.
Oh, yeah, I forgot this was on me.
I know, that's the point. It's a lie. I want these things to
Size. I got you.
That's why I got this set up. I want things to disappear.